As time moves forward, so does Merrimack TV. The town's media division has come far from its humble beginnings. Someone that has witnessed those early origins is Media Services Coordinator Nicholas LaValle.
When we started, we were just an extra room at the high school for our TV studio and also our media division offices. We had a couple cable channels on TV.
Today, Merrimack TV isn't only available on cable, but through its very own streaming app, where local happenings such as town meetings, high school sports, concerts, and resident-produced shows can be watched live or played on demand virtually anywhere. Some of these broadcasts receiving national awards and recognition by the Alliance for Community Media. Nicholas LaValle tells us more about this national organization.
The Alliance for Community Media represents over 1,700 public education and government access organizations and community media centers throughout the country. Merrimack TV is a proud member station of the ACM because their guiding principles align with the objectives of the Town of Merrimack's media division.
Nicholas continues explaining the fundamental details of community media.
It's being an advocate for free speech and giving people a conduit to express themselves. It's documenting your local elected leaders and the decisions they make by covering local democracy.
The staff at Merrimack TV are clearly passionate about these fundamentals. For Assistant Media Services Coordinator Justin Slez, the passion for community media began back in high school when he and some friends created their own TV show. He explains how Merrimack TV's broadcasts benefit the community.
Broadcasting programs like Election Night Live is so important for the community because it keeps people engaged, especially in local democracy where you can really affect the most change in your own life. It all starts at a local level, and for people to be able to be engaged and understand how that process is working is so important.
Merrimack TV's 2023 broadcast of Election Night Live going on to win the National Award for Democracy in Action at the 2024 Alliance for Community Media National Conference.
The hometown goes to Nicholas LaValle, Justin Slez, and Colin Marr from Merrimack TV for the project titled Election Night Live.
It's another election day in Merrimack, and there's no shortage of poll workers helping to make it.
Nicholas LaValle tells us why this award feels so sought after.
At its core, community media, particularly municipally driven community media, it's about creating civic engagement and getting people involved in how a town works and what it means to participate in a municipality. It's proof that our work creates civic engagement.
Receiving national recognition takes a lot of work, and sometimes that work takes place behind the scenes. Justin Slez, accompanied by Nicholas LaValle, explain how live broadcasts like Election Night Live are produced.
We don't just show up with cameras and turn them on and just start recording. There's a lot of pre-production process. We kind of need a layout for where things are going to go. That includes running cables, setting up the cameras, testing the gear especially before we start.
During the course of the live event, we're playing these pre-produced segments and these video packages. We also have to more or less write a script to that video package, so we're keeping the audience entertained while we're awaiting for live election night results.
It wasn't just Merrimack TV's dedication to broadcasting local democracy that won an award, but the documentation of the work put in by longtime Department of Public Works employees Bob Burley and Bob Lovering in the Merrimack Moment segment, We Built That Stowell Road Bridge. We caught up with that segment's producer, Colin Marr.
I think it just goes to show as well that Merrimack is such a special community. People really care about making a difference, and they're not always recognized for making that difference. Like the two Bobs, for example. You really can see something exemplary everywhere you look, I think, depending on how you're willing to look at your community. You can change your perspective, and you can see things that otherwise may seem mundane or just matter of fact, and you can look into, okay, how was this made? Who made this? Why was it made? And there's a story there.
In a community like Merrimack, the stories practically write themselves. Practically. The Merrimack Moment series works carefully to accurately document and amplify these stories with the goal of not only spotlighting the people and groups making differences within our community, but to encourage others to get involved and to be inspired. These stories bring our community closer together. And I'll admit, these stories also bring in some pretty shiny awards. This one's my favorite though, and no, not because my name's on it, but because of the awesome people I met while producing the segment. They made me feel like a part of the team. That team being Chop Shop 166. Last time we saw Chop Shop, they were debuting their robot, Frostbite, at Mayhem in Merrimack. Now, they're working on a completely new robot called Downforce. During all the action, we managed to speak with mechanical sub-team member Laura and team co-captain Tim. Laura tells us how our award-winning Merrimack Moment affected the team.
This is a big step for us because it allows our team to be viewed from a different lens. We're able to shed light on things that we might not be able to cover ourselves, but be able to highlight, such as our character and the way that we help our community through a greater representation of actions and not just words.
Chop Shop co-captain Tim explains the impact of Merrimack TV on a broader scale.
When you look at the broad scope of Merrimack, you see the end product of Merrimack or the organizations in it. Merrimack TV really puts you behind the scenes of each of those organizations. It brings them to life.
Nicholas LaValle tells us what makes community media so special.
What makes community media so special is the people, the community. The goal of Merrimack TV is to provide a place for residents and nonprofit groups that serve the community, a way to express themselves. It's about covering your local democracy in action. It's about telling your stories. It's about hearing your stories. It's about varsity sports. It's about concerts. It's about community events. Really, when all is said and done, Merrimack TV is about your community, your voice.
Thank you for watching.